Welcome to the Business Benchmark Group podcast, where you'll learn how to think strategically about your business and discover that while business is not easy, it doesn't need to be hard. With over 20 years experience in turning stalling businesses into thriving enterprises, here is your host, Stefan, the founder and CEO of Business Benchmark Group.
Hi, I'm Stefan from Business Benchmark Group, and welcome to this week's episode of our podcast series. Hope you've been enjoying what we've been sharing, and again, there's so much depth and breadth and ultimately thinking opportunity when it comes to what we're sharing here. I guess today's episode is no different, where we're, talking about what it actually takes to push through, what it actually takes to keep on going to a place called mastery and then coming back to do it all again, continuously raising the bar and setting a higher standard and breaking through thresholds. We talk about where, the impact of the 5 phases of it, small, medium enterprise growth, small business growth sort of happens and occurs, and why is it that the percentages get lower for businesses not only in Australia but almost on a global level as to, the percentages of businesses that break through certain thresholds and many that don't. What does it actually take, and what is it that ultimately influences some to be at the continual improvement and pushing through the levels of mastery to get to a new level of learning and experience and delivery and team development and product and service delivery. So, what does it actually take? So a little bit of thinking, a little bit of expanding, a little bit of, just getting you to think. Think is a critical component of success, and why it is important to ensure that in one way or another you're continuously communicating this thing called success. I'm Stefan Kazakis. I really hope you enjoy this week's episode, and I look forward to your feedback. Thank you. So we spoke earlier about storytelling, and I mentioned the word or the reference called bridge building. Who in this room is a bridge builder? Who builds bridge? Who builds bridges that takes people from point A to point B, from frustration to freedom, from pain points to solution, from problems to outcomes? Who is a bridge builder in this room? Who demonstrates that story with vigour, with energy and with passion? Who also takes people over the bridge for occasionally you fail or you take a learning, which ends up being a really cool reference point as your business continues to grow. So a business, small business, 2.1 million of them in Australia, fall into one of these key phases. Now, generally speaking, a $500,000 business, there's about 600,000 of them in Australia right now. Right? There's 600,000 small businesses that have an annual turnover of $500,000. Their key needs, as much as cash flow is a big one, their key needs is an understanding of structure, an understanding of what does it take to get myself out of being the most amazing employee in my business to someone that can manage a little more. My critical need as I become a $500,000 business on my journey to $2 million, for which there's 700,000 businesses in Australia that turn over up to $2 million a year. So there's enough for all of us, those that are coaches. There's plenty. There are plenty. But in saying that, what are the urgent needs and what are the desires of a business that's turning over $2 million? What would they be, Dave? Think about the time when you were thinking about getting to your first million and now you're thinking of getting to your second. What are your needs?
Well, they're very different.
Correct. What do you need better?
Better systems.
Perfect. Better?
Staff.
People. And better? Predictable marketing. You're also in a position when you're turning over $2 million, you're also in a position when you're turning over revenue $2 million to be making better, predictable profits, for which Tony from the Bank of Sydney is going to say, okay, you give me your 30 cents and I'll give you my 70, which means you're going to have better availability of cash from someone else's coffers because you now have a predictable track record of being a decent business run by a decent management that can predict profit and deliver profit. So there's 4 points of leverage for most businesses once they get to 2 million in terms of what their needs are. If you can get to $2 million, if you can get to $2 million revenue with better systems, better marketing and better people, and the availability for better finance, you now have a very quick opportunity, and it won't take you that long to get to $5 million. So these are the phases of business. Startup, 2 million, 5 million. If you get to 5 million with structure, with the ability to step out and look at, okay, where do we go next? We've done the local stuff, how do we go global? Now, global for some of you may mean stepping out of Victoria and doing business in New South Wales. For some of you, it may mean, okay, we're doing okay in our backyard here in Doncaster, Manningham, Victoria, maybe Australia, and now we need to go Asia Pacific. When you get to 2 million, if you get there with structure, not I turn up every day and hope for a better day than it was yesterday, but I turn up every day because I'm on a journey for which I do have patience, but I'm clear about where I am and where I'm going and the gap in between. Getting to $5 million would not take as much time or as much energy. It's going to come down to the business owner making ideal business decisions. That sometimes not every decision is yours. You have the idea that gets expanded with people looking in and out to ultimately stress test the idea before you actually execute the idea. You get to $5 million very quickly. And if you get to $5 million, you now are in a perfect position to get to 20 million, dare me say. Now, I've personally run a couple of these, privately owned, and I've sold a couple for profit. Now, I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you. What I'm sharing with you is not something I read from a book or something I did on someone else's team. My house was always on the line. And if you're not prepared to have your house on the line, then you're going to be safe. So, if you're at $500,000 or startup, and your urgent needs are of a certain combination, you need to do whatever it takes today, because the time is now, to make a decision to make this part of your business, this phase of your business, yesterday's news, history. You need to get on with an identity shift which starts in the mind by understanding what needs to happen and how is it that you're going to make it happen, which then embraces you to go and execute in accordance with a plan that is or isn't working. And if there's a gap in between, we do something about it weekly, not, oh, we'll get around to it quarterly, or we'll have a retreat and we'll figure it out once a year. Those sort of business plans and that sort of accountability is not fit for someone that is conducive to growth. So when you get to 2 million with all that structure, you get to 5 million, to 20 million, to 50 million. This period here, for which 99% of businesses don't get to, they don't get to this second phase of business, guys. They never do. There's only a minority that gets to here and beyond. 2 million businesses in Australia that are in this space, and 65% of them are here. The next 30% are here. There's only a minority, a single-digit percentage of business, I'm talking small business, I'm not talking corporate, that get past this point to there. Why? Why is that so? As that professor said. You know why? Because you don't know what you don't know. And it's the people you hang around with. Or maybe you've let go of dreaming and your aspirational aspect to let me go for it and watch what happens has left you. There's no soul in the business. The culture has got dust on it. And your bias to a high performance challenge has left you, for which the storytelling has also left you. So you give me a story that represents something of the past. Okay, it's pretty cool. So what are you telling me next year? The same story. Imagine Tony and Tristan getting up here and telling us the same story in a year's time. How entertaining would that be? How conducive to education and knowledge and sharing would that be? How motivated would you be to be up here next year telling us the same story? Would that be cool? That'd be shit. That'd be crap. I mean, let me just be blunt here. it'd be crap. You know why? Because in 12 months' time, if you keep on doing what you're doing and the structures that you're building, you're going to give me the $5 million story about 12 months and 24 months down the track, because that's life. And if you stop dreaming, you stop living. And if you stop living, you might as well give it up and jump on someone else's team and follow their vision. Be a part of that one, which is okay, because your emotional selling proposition, your empathy, your ability to know what you need to know about your target market is so crystal clear and so tight about the one target market that is relevant for you and the thousands of opportunities within that and the small percentage of clients you need within that target market to make your business a profitable enterprise that commercially grows. Your ability to take people from here to here is fundamental to the story you share every 12 months. It's fundamental to the awards that you apply for and ultimately give yourself a very good and strong chance to win if that's an aspiration of yours, or just enter them to figure out what has been the difference to know, are you getting better at communicating and attracting future clients that actually buy, for which you are helping them as they lean on your shoulder here over this bridge to a place called freedom. Their problem, your solution, together is a marriage called business. Right? So in your business, are you clear about your uniqueness and your emotional selling proposition? And are you also clear about the amount of people that are on this side of the bridge saying, you've got to cross the bridge with these guys? Don't worry about the pretenders. Don't worry about the other ones that have read books. Don't worry about the other ones that are doing plumbing with their, what is it? What's that thing called? Yeah, that one. With that, or don't worry about the ones that do cashies on a Friday afternoon because it's VB time. Don't worry about those ones. You want something that's got the stuff flowing? Because I don't want that problem again. That's not a problem I woke up desiring this morning. You've got to go to H2 Pro. That's what these guys over here are saying. Did you hear it? It happened in this room. The miracle happened, which is not a miracle. It's a strategy for someone to work on delivering in accordance with their culture, a bias to solutions, a bias to making it right every time right. That's how it works. So when you get to understand frustration to freedom, then you're in a position to be really clear about what is the number one big outcome, result that you deliver for your target market. What is the itch that you scratch every time someone turns up and says, I think I might need you? What is the big number one outcome that you deliver for your clients? And I can guarantee you it's not what you think. See, we do business coaching. We have people that turn up with cash flow, dysfunctional team, lonely and stressed, exhausted, and are serious procrastinators, and they weren't born that way. They just made too many mistakes and not prepared to make another decision. So they got procrastination. And we on this side take them on a journey which breaks all that down in a bespoke, customised plan which ensures that they cross this bridge, and when they get there, they keep on crossing the next bridge. Our number one big outcome is not to help you make more money. That's nowhere near as important to us as it is to you. Do you know what our number one big outcome is in our business, just to give you a bit of a clue for your business? As business coaches at the Business Benchmark Group, and that's what we do, we're not accountants, we're not marketeers, we are strategists. We look at the business 360 degree. Our number one big outcome is to ensure that Tony and Tristan this Christmas spend 2 weeks Christmas holiday without the business needing to slow down or quiet down. They can spend 2 weeks with their family this Christmas, or the weekend watching little Johnny play footy. It's about quality of life. When you go into your business and you run your business, you grow the team, and all the things that make business hard, and we're saying it doesn't have to be hard, but it's not that easy, you just need to be committed. All we're interested in delivering to you guys, our number one big outcome, and don't take this from me, as in don't make this your big outcome, it's ours, is to give you a quality of life. Because nothing else matters, because business is a vehicle to our quality of life, our dreams. Our responsibility is to make sure that your dreams are so big and so real that they do make you nervous, they do make you scared, but it's possible. if you are committed, if you've got tenacity, and if you've got commitment to get on with the game. Board of Directors 12, Diamond Club is all about that. As you progress through the journey, one-on-one private mentoring, because you're at that certain phase in business. 5 to 20 mil is all private mentoring. Anything underneath is Board of Directors 12, and the results are real. The number one big outcome is real. Is that right, Emma and Ben? Yeah, not talking crap here, are we? We're all good. Now, when I take someone from frustration to freedom and I'm clear about my number one big outcome, this is all marketing, guys. This is all communication and positioning, but it's the ethos of your business. All I'm responsible is making sure, I can't guarantee it yet, but to deliver to you a return on investment. Every one of you delivers a return on investment in these 4 places. The first one is finance. The second one is feelings. I've got to feel good about what I'm doing. When you go and get a haircut, where's my hairdresser in the room? She's gone. Okay, when I go and get a haircut, am I going to get a return on investment in finance? Is that a financial return on investment that I'm looking for? No. I'm looking for a feel-good return on investment. When I leave that room and they've done their stuff, or when Jim leaves the room and they've done their stuff, he feels good about how he's made to look, right? I still feel disappointed. Right? The third F doesn't start with F, but it's still an F if you think about it. PH, physical. My return on investment when I go to heavy haulers and I train hard and I do what I got to do is not about the sweat that I feel like licking after my training regime. It's about my physical change transformation. When I share aspects of business coaching and people that don't need money but they need a better outcome, their ability to buy a new house, their ability to buy a new car, their ability to take their kids to Disneyland is all about a physical return on investment. And the last and the most important and almost the most understated and misunderstood is a return on investment called fire in the belly. If I can give you fire in the belly about what you do and reinvigorate that passion to just get on with going to your toilet and doing what you need to do because it's not going to block anymore. Go, Eric, do it. Does that give you a fact? Does that give you fire in the belly to just feel, oh my God, I'm going to go to that toilet. Tony came, he cost me a bomb, but I don't feel scared to go into the toilet again because it's going to work. That's fire in the belly. Passion. Passion to get people from point A to point B and reinvigorate their focus on where it needs to be versus the problem that has occurred that stops them from getting on with life. The most times people come to buy from you, they have a need or they have a desire. They have a need or they have a desire. Your responsibility in business is to make sure that they always buy on need. If they're buying on desire, the wallet doesn't stretch that far. That's a want. And a want can wait till next year. For a lifetime, I've wanted a Porsche. I really do. And I've got a model of one on my desk. But do I need one right now? No, I don't. These are my productive years. I don't go and spend them on Porsches. This is not the time to be investing my money in wealth creation and giving myself the best chance of financial freedom. This is not the time to be driving a Porsche. Does that make sense? This is the time to be productive and reinvest and grow. My 40s and my 50s are all about that. Yours are exactly the same. So when you do business, you take people from frustration to freedom. You need to be clear about the number one big outcome that you deliver, bar none. You also need to understand with clarity, and most of you are going to have a challenge around this one, is understanding what the return on investment is in finance, feelings, physical, and fire in the belly. Job done. And that's how you move from here to here to here to here to here, for which you still do your bit as you wish to do it, but there are others way better than you doing way more than you ever could have done in building it at this level here. Does that make sense? So for most of us, we are the biggest choke point and, strictly speaking, challenge in our business. And for most of us, we need to learn to just step aside and let those that are coming through do a better job than you. Does that make sense? All good. I hope you took something out of today, whether it was the champion in business sharing and ultimately learning from that, or Jim sharing again a couple of bits and pieces regarding what it takes to make that part in a business called marketing a little more conducive to profit and long-term profit. So I want to thank you. I want to wish to thank my team once again, who are exceptional, and everything we say and everything we do is so congruent. So well done. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Cheers. Hi, I'm Stefan Kazakis, and I sincerely hope you enjoyed that sharing, that critical thinking, that expanding of the mind in terms of what does it actually, why is it that some businesses actually push through and continuously push through the 5 phases of growth, not exactly at lightning speed, but at the speed and the appropriate decision-making process, which allows, execution, rubber on the road, correction, measurement, and ultimately improvement, so that you're building the DNA out of your business. So when it goes from 1 million to 2 million, from 2 million to 5 million, and 5 million to 20, and so forth, you're not going backwards. You're actually going forward every single time. It's critical to, just reflect on why there is only a small percentage of businesses that ever reach $2 million, and a decent version of $2 million being that globally. And, it is okay to put your hand up and say, hey, I don't know what I don't know. And as much as that can be considered a very dumb statement, because the moment you put your hand up for that, then what are you doing about it needs to be the next question. It's also critical to continuously surround yourself with people that have, moving forward, onwards, and glass half full sort of centre in their way of doing business. And hence why our Board of Directors 12 programs and our executive board programs are built in such a way where you are surrounded and led by, influence that ultimately has you being at your personal best. And look, the reason I would reflect, and as I just shared, that most people don't ever reach a certain threshold or push through it for that matter, is that they've stopped dreaming. They've stopped, they've stopped putting the vitamins into what got them started in the first place. A thing called passion, and you've heard me talk about this previously. Passion is not just being good at something; it's being good at something and liking it. Loving doing what you do and being really good at it is where passion is square and centre. So for many of us, our businesses has lost its soul. It's lost its DNA. We don't have that bias for high performance. It's gone. And the question is, why? Why do we allow something that's on its way to something better? We get in the way and say, oh, I don't want anything that's bigger. I don't want anything that's more profitable. I don't want anything that's going to ruin my state of slumber. And it's like, hey, that's pretty cool. Why don't we just go and watch another rerun of Lost or Survivor and see how we go building our businesses, watching TV and doing things that ultimately don't benefit your quality of life. Now, I'm not saying don't watch TV. I'm a huge advocate for downtime and personal time, but I'm also a huge advocate for, if you're on the road to something, make sure you finish it off. Don't be that person that started things and never finished things off. So, everyone that you serve right now, every one of your customers, everyone that they know that could be a customer of yours, you are responsible for taking them over a bridge called frustration, and you are their guide, their reference point for a solution. Frustration to freedom, issues to solutions, problems to results. That's who you are, and that's what you stand for, and get better at explaining and communicating and living the ethos that has you being the chosen one for being the bridge builder that gets people from frustration to freedom. We understand that many of our clients, when they knock on our door, it's not that they don't know what they don't know. As I said earlier, that is just a dumb thing to say. What they do know is that they're frustrated and they have no plan. And within 12 months, guaranteed, they are empowered and in control and moving something upwards and onwards through the 5 phases, regardless of where they are. The amount of triple-digit growth clients that we are serving right now is unbelievable. And we are nothing but the guide and ultimately the flashlight holder. And you are always holding the business end of the shovel in terms of what you're moving upwards and onwards. So power to you and power to every one of you that's breaking through the thresholds. We know clients of ours that have been in our community for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years plus, they have double ups every 2 to 3 years. That's not because they're lucky or things have aligned for them. Ultimately, you make your own luck, you make your own opportunity. Be the dream maker, not the dream taker. I'm Stefan Kazakis, Business Benchmark Group. Make a difference.
For more information about Business Benchmark Group's coaching, education, and training programs, visit businessbenchmarkgroup.com.au or call 039001 0878. If you liked this podcast, please rate it on iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud and leave feedback as well. Stefan shares so much value in all his podcasts, and we encourage you to go through the archives and listen to other episodes of the Business Benchmark Group podcast. Thank you for listening.